All right, let us remember the Almighty and our Guru and seek the divine blessings. Om Bhur Swaha
Bhuvasvaha
Tat Saviturvarenyam
Tatsaviturvarenyam
Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi
Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi
Diyo Yonah Prachodayat.
Yo Yo Nah Prachodayat.
Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu
Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu
Gurur Devo Maheshwara
Guru Devo Maheshwara
Gurur Sakshat Parabrahma
Guru Sakshat Param Brahma
Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha.
Go down to the Almighty, to all the Gurus, and seek their divine blessings. Take your posture, spine straight, neck straight, spine and neck aligned, hands in Dhyan Mudra, eyes closed. And start observing your inner experiences. Let us begin with a Anulom Vilom. Observe your breath. It doesn't matter if your mind wanders away. Be conscious about it, aware about it. Sense it. What sensations that particular thought, feeling, experience, event is making you sense like. Observe it and gently bring your attention back to your breath. Also understand that you have to keep this entire cycle into your consciousness. Every step of the cycle has to be practiced with complete conscious awareness. Bhastrika Pranayam with this complete awareness. At the count of 3, 2, 1, at your pace. Inhale, 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 experience and sense your shoulders, your neck. Is there anything which is twitching, paining, which is stiff? At the same time, also experience how do you feel. Inhale, inhale, Be very gentle. Inhale. One last time, take a deep breath. Inhale. Be mindful about your breathing. Relax yourself. 3 rounds of Anulom to normalize your breath. Practice Brahmari at your peace on the ground of 3, 2, 1. All right, you can relax. 3 rounds of অনুলোম বিলোম to normalize the breath. Experience your inner senses. Be in the wakeful conscious state. Maintain your posture, spine straight, leg straight, and in proper Dhyan Mudra, right first. Let us practice Pratak. Take a deep breath and then start. Close your eyes. Relax. All right, now let us begin with our theory class today. So now we are going to study, we have two systems to study, okay? When it comes to mindfulness, level 1, both of these systems of our body are very important, okay? So first is the nervous system and second is the respiratory system. So nervous system is important because it includes the brain, but not only the brain part, but also one of the type within which there are system, different type of nervous system. So say for example, if I tell you, you must be knowing about it, that we have nervous system, right? Then that within it we have it is divided into further two parts, okay? Central nervous system and peripheral nervous system, correct? Right? Then
Yes, ma'am.
central nervous system is further divided into two parts, okay? One is the brain and second is the spinal cord, correct? Whereas peripheral nervous system gets divided into further two parts, that is somatic nervous system and autonomic nervous system, right? Autonomic nervous system further gets divided into two parts, right? The sympathetic and the parasympathetic, correct? All right. So this entire region, not only the central nervous system where our brain and our spinal cord is included, okay? When we say brain, we are actually emphasizing on the cognitive changes or evolution that takes place post mindfulness meditation that we already discussed in the neuroscience of mindfulness, right? And spinal cord is because that we need to maintain certain posture in order to be wakeful, be into our consciousness, correct? अगर यही प्रैक्टिस हम आपको लेटे लेटे करवाएंगे सोते सोते तो it will not have its benefits, it will not have its effect, right? So these are the two things, correct? Now whereas the peripheral nervous system within which the autonomic nervous system is included, all right, that concerns two things, okay? The two parts of it, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. Now sympathetic nervous system gets activated when we have XYZ stimuli in the environment, correct? So Ria, I think I have lost. You've lost your connection. All right. So we were talking about that, especially in the autonomic nervous system, the part of autonomic nervous system, sympathetic and parasympathetic, right? So sympathetic nervous system gets activated whenever we have any stimuli in the environment, right? So when it comes to any stimuli in the environment, it can be something, some event, all right? The environment that is also within us. It can be a feeling, it can be a memory that comes back to you, right? When you remembered something, all right, by seeing something, right? So all of these things are the stimuli. So when you have, say, for example, a particular stimuli in the environment, the sympathetic nervous system gets activated, all right? Because of the sympathetic nervous system, there are a lot of physiological changes that takes place, like palpitations, right? Your heart rate increases, your blood pressure increases, pulse rate increases, right? You have your tongue gets numb, right? Your there is a change in the eyes also, the size of the pupil, right? It gets widen up, correct? The facial expressions changes. There is an adrenaline rush, already the adrenaline glands gets activated and they secrete their adrenaline, right? So all of this physiological changes, and because the adrenaline rush, all of these changes takes place in our body, right? We have like shaky hands, trembling in the feet, correct? So all of these physiological changes takes place, all right, when the sympathetic nervous system gets activated. All right. So when the sympathetic nervous system gets activated, and if it is in, like, it doesn't remain always, activated. In the sense, it is not always at the peak of it. All right. Otherwise, we would not have been normal. Right? There is a problem. It's a disorder. It's a disease. Correct. So say, for example, if you see people who have high blood pressure, all right, people who are addicts, alcoholics, okay, they sweat a lot, right? If you have marked, they sweat a lot, right? So what does that suggest? That the sympathetic nervous system is activated in order to palpitations. With respect to palpitations, right? We can see through palpitations. Of course, it is the effect of that particular disease or that particular substance that they have been addicted to. But what this suggests, it suggests the activation of sympathetic nervous system, which can be seen by palpitations, like severe palpitations, severe sweating, correct? So now, to control this, to bring this sympathetic nervous system to its regular, normal pace, correct? The parasympathetic nervous system has to get activated, right? Now, when the sympathetic nervous system gets activated, according to Hans Selye, all right, he has given 3 types of responses that we give, all right, when we are in such a situation, correct? So what are those 3 things? Fight, flight, or freeze, right? Pure psychology thing, correct? So once, if your stimuli is something where you can, cope with it, you have resources for it, you can handle it, all right, you can fight with it, correct? For fighting also, the sympathetic nervous system has to get activated, correct? Now, if there is a flight where you know that you cannot handle the situation, where you do not maybe have enough or apt resources to handle it, correct? Or you fear it, right? You escape the situation, you flight from it, correct? At that particular time also, the sympathetic nervous system is activated for you to run away, for you to find the escapes, correct? And in the third phase, where you are completely freeze, all right, that complete freezing happens because of the sympathetic nervous system do not understand what to do. You still have those physiological changes taking place, right? But you're completely freeze. You are out of your consciousness. Maybe you faint, all right? Maybe you are freezed for so many seconds. Maybe because the severity is high, because it is so traumatic that you cannot take it, you cannot perceive it. Your brain has stopped functioning, right? Processing has stopped. So at that particular time, the freezing happens. So sympathetic nervous system, what are the, if that gets activated, when does it get activated? Once it gets activated, what are the changes that it takes place? And according to Hans Selye, what are the responses as normal individuals we give in such a situation? Now, in order to control, in order to normalize the sympathetic nervous system, we have the parasympathetic nervous system, which has to get activated, right? Because it brings all of these changes or all of these rush that has taken place back to normalcy. Okay, and then the normal functioning can resume. Okay, otherwise अगर blood pressure high का high रहेगा, heart rate high का high रहेगा, तो भाई it is going to be like a full stop, then heart attack आ जाएगा, है ना, myocardial infarction, right? But that doesn't happen. Okay, the parasympathetic nervous system gets into the picture once the situation has been controlled. Whatever the response has to be given has been given, has been acted upon. Okay, then parasympathetic nervous system comes into the picture and it normalizes everything. Correct? Now, why are we studying it with respect to mindfulness? Is because the research studies have proved, both in neuroscientific field as well as in psychology, correct, that post mindfulness meditation or post mindfulness practice, it activates, all right, it actually enhances the parasympathetic nervous system, the functioning of parasympathetic nervous system. And that is when we feel more relaxed, calm, we are able to think properly, we are able to make decisions, we are able to reflect upon it differently with a lot of efficiency, with a lot of awareness, is because all of these things are relaxed, are calm. Correct? Our body is very calm, very relaxed. So there is no energy going there. So you can put all of those energy, all of that energy onto the thing that we actually want it in the awareness. Right? So this is the role of the nervous system when it comes to post mindfulness practice or in mindfulness practice. We are going to see a video on it. All right. And this is the way how you have to write about it. You can write first the description, okay, of whatever you see, all right, in the video. All right, complete this description. I'll also be sending you the link in the group so that you can refer it afterwards and make the notes. But for now, you have to see the video, make the notes, running notes, okay, according to your understanding. And then whatever I have explained, that is going to be the part of it, of what you have already seen. But this parasympathetic part and this Hans Selye part is not there in the video. So you have to write it in your notes. Correct? Sorry, let us watch this video. So share my screen. Do let me know if you have been receiving the video links, right?
Not like I think past two videos are not there.
Which first two videos?
Yeah.
Which first two videos? All the videos are there.
I didn't hear that.
All the videos are there. So you can,
No, last two videos are not there. Like, let me check.
last two videos are also there. I have sent to you, I have mailed you. So do kindly check and then let me know.
Mhm.
Do let me know if the screen is visible and the voice is audible.
Or the brain as most of us call it. What makes this organ unique is that within it, nature distinguishes and sets the human species apart from the rest of creation, or intelligence. To begin, let's look at the primary function of all of the activities of the body. It enables the body to respond and adapt to changes that occur both in the system is actually split into two parts, the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. We'll explore the peripheral later, but first, let's look at the central nervous system. The central nervous system is made up of two major structures, the brain and the spinal cord. As most people know, the brain is found within the cranium or skull, and there are 6 main sections among other structures within it. These 6 sections are the cerebrum, cerebellum, diencephalon, the midbrain, pons, and the medulla oblongata. The first section is the cerebrum. This is the largest section. It's divided into 2 major hemispheres, which are the right and left hemisphere. And the cerebrum is further divided into 4 lobes. These 4 lobes are the frontal, the parietal, the temporal, and the occipital. The frontal lobe is primarily responsible for reasoning and thought. The parietal is primarily responsible for integrating sensory information. The temporal is primarily responsible for processing auditory information from the ears. And the occipital is primarily responsible for processing visual information from the eyes. The second section of the brain is the cerebellum. This is the section located in the back of the head below the cerebrum and above the first cervical of the neck. It is responsible for muscle coordination, balance, posture, and muscle tone. The diencephalon section is found between the cerebrum and the midbrain. It contains 2 structures, the thalamus and the hypothalamus. The thalamus behaves much like a relay station and directs sensory impulses to the cerebrum. And the hypothalamus controls and regulates autonomic nervous system functions such as temperature, appetite, water balance, sleep, and blood vessel constriction and dilation. The hypothalamus also plays a role in the emotions such as anger, fear, pleasure, pain, and affection. The midbrain section is located below the cerebrum at the top of the brainstem. It is responsible for certain eye and auditory reflexes. The pons is located below the midbrain and in the brainstem. It is responsible for certain reflex actions such as chewing, tasting, and saliva production. And the last section is the medulla oblongata. It's the lowest part of the brainstem, and it connects with the spinal cord and is responsible for regulating heart and blood vessel function, digestion, respiration, swallowing, coughing, sneezing, and blood pressure. It's also known as the center for respiration. Now that we've covered the brain, let's take a look at the other half of the central nervous system, the spinal cord. The spinal cord is the link between the brain and the nerves and the rest of the body. The spinal cord is divided into 4 different regions: the cervical, thoracic, lumbar, and the afferent and efferent spinal nerves, which merge to form the peripheral nerves. The afferent spinal nerves are responsible for carrying information from the body to the brain. And the efferent spinal nerves are responsible for carrying information from the brain to the body. Now, within this elaborate system of nerves, neurons, and dendrites, there is a system that regulates the functions of the central nervous system, which lie outside its major components, such as the brain and the spinal cord. This system is known as the peripheral nervous system and is subdivided into two smaller systems, the somatic system and the autonomic nervous system. The somatic nervous system is responsible for carrying motor and sensory information both to and from the central nervous system. This system is made up of nerves that connect to the skin, sensory organs, and all skeletal muscles. The somatic system is also responsible for nearly all voluntary muscle movements, as well as for processing sensory information that arrives via external stimuli including hearing, touch, and sight. The structures that allow this communication to happen between the nerves throughout the body and the central nervous system are known as the afferent sensory neurons and the efferent motor neurons. Now, afferent simply means conducting inward, and efferent means conducting outward. So just like in the spinal nerves, the afferent neurons take information from the nerves to the central nervous system, and the efferent neurons take information from the central nervous system to the muscle fibers throughout the body. The autonomic nervous system is further divided into the sympathetic nervous system and the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is vital to our survival. Have you ever heard of the fight or flight response to danger? The sympathetic nervous system revs up the body when confronted with imminent danger to either defend yourself or to escape the threat. The parasympathetic nervous system is the counterbalance to the sympathetic response to danger, whether real or imagined. Once the threat is gone, the parasympathetic brings all the systems of the body back to normal. Now at this point, you should have a basic understanding of the nervous system, but let's do a quick recap. The basic purpose of the nervous system is to coordinate all the activities of the body. It enables the body to respond and adapt to changes that occur both inside and outside the body. The two major parts to the nervous system are the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. The central nervous system is also divided into two major structures, the brain and the spinal cord. The brain is found within the skull or cranium, and it is made up of 6 main sections. These 6 sections are the cerebrum, cerebellum, diencephalon, the midbrain, pons, and the medulla oblongata. The other half of the central nervous system is the spinal cord, and the spinal cord is the link between the brain and the nerves and the rest of your body. The spinal cord is divided into 4 different regions: the cervical, thoracic, lumbar, and afferent and efferent spinal nerves, which merge to form the peripheral nerves. Now that we know the brain and spinal peripheral nervous system, the peripheral nervous system cord. The peripheral nervous system is then subdivided into 2 smaller systems called the somatic nervous system and the autonomic nervous system. So, as you can see, the nervous system is quite complex, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. Thanks for watching. Look for more videos on the nervous system at cteskills.com.
All right. So did you understood the role of nervous system?
Hmm?
Did you understand the role of nervous system when it comes to mindfulness?
Yeah.
Anything, any question that you need to ask or want to ask?
when I sit in ध्यान मुद्रा ना मतलब नहीं हो पा रहा है मेरे से. Is like मतलब मेरे को समझ ही नहीं आ रहा है कि when it comes to mindfulness तो मतलब I just sit and like observing and doing the activities. मतलब यही चीजें होती हैं इसके अंदर, बट मैं वो मतलब कंसंट्रेशन नहीं आ पा रहा है मेरा.
ओके.
मतलब इट इज लाइक कि ठीक है, आई एम सिटिंग वाचिंग माय ब्रेथ्स एंड ऑल, मतलब लेकिन उतना भी ठीक है, लाइक थॉट कम्स एंड गोज, मतलब कि वो भी अवेयरनेस वाली थॉट्स होती हैं, मतलब रूटीन वाले. लेकिन एक एक पॉइंट तो होता है ना कि व्हेन यू फील सेटिस्फाइड कि नहीं अब थोड़ा मेरे को फील फील आया है ये चीज करके, वो चीज नहीं हो पा रही है.
वो एकदम से नहीं होगा. It will take time.
लाइक इवन इवन फॉर अ सेकेंड अगर मेरे को वो वाला चीज फील हो तो मुझे लगेगा कि आई एम ऑन द राइट पाथ, आई एम ऑन द राइट ट्रैक. तो वो चीज है कि मतलब
For
ठीक है
that, you
पूरे
need to
टाइम पे नहीं
first
हो रहा है.
believe
हाँ.
in it. That will work. It is working. Start believing into it. First, you have to believe it. Otherwise, the results will come to you. You will not be able to see because you do not have that eyesight. That
Because of
knowledge.
my
Because you will not, you are mentally not ready. You are not accepting that yes, it is working. Right? So first manifest that in a way that I'm not telling you to keep yourself into the dark that nahi idhar ho raha hai, idhar ho raha hai, idhar ho raha hai. Okay? But simply believe in it. Just have a faith in it that yes. Okay? Faith होना जरूरी है कोई भी चीज करने के लिए, that it will work. Okay? Then you will develop that perception. You will broaden your arena to see that उसका क्या effects आया या क्या changes हो रहे हैं. ठीक है? So try it out that way and it will not happen एकदम से. It will take time. Okay? It will take time. And we have to wait for the time to unfold because this is not something which can be जिसका result देखने के लिए we can force any practice, है ना? It is not something that we can force, right? Otherwise फिर वो fleeting हो जाएगा, मन मनाने की बात है फिर वो. So let it unfold at its place. It will unfold. ठीक है? और जब one and that too it will be like gradual. ठीक है? Abhi you are in a state of whether it will work, whether it will not work. You're in a state of doubt. Okay, in a dilemma, right? So let us move from that stage to the next one and just have faith in it. I'm not asking you to accept it कि हो रहा है या देखो कि हो रहा है, but have faith in it that it will work. Then you are able to develop that perception. क्या क्या चीजें हुई या हो रही है या चेंज होगी या चेंज हुई है ना? Alright. And once you will start practicing the MBI, all right, you will be able to see the results. Okay. That for that part, I'm planning to start it from next week. That is from Monday. But it on for me to start that, okay, I need to get done with your theory portion. So you have to adjust like tomorrow, like if we can extend the class for 1.5 hours. Okay, I'll just see what all is remaining in the theory portion. I know one system is remaining, that is respiratory. Let me check. Hold on. System is remaining. So have you noted down all the points that we have covered till now in your diary or in your book?
Yeah.
Yeah, so can you just, as I'm speaking, can you just check if that
Yeah,
is
sure.
another? Yeah.
Shall I speak?
Hold on. We are done with what is mindfulness.
Yes.
We are done with the 7 characteristics of a mindfulness healer,
Yes.
history and philosophy of mindfulness.
Yeah, history of mindfulness.
Then neuroscience,
Yeah.
mindfulness of breathing that we practice every day.
Neuroscience, how mind waves work,
Sorry.
how brain waves work.
Yeah, so that is neuroscience.
Yeah.
Right.
Psychology of mindfulness.
Psychology of mindfulness. Then we are also done with mindfulness of breathing, right? That we practice every day,
Yeah.
right? Understanding of,
Understand. Mindfulness through evolutionary psychology.
right? Then learning to apply mindfulness in everyday life. That is the 7 elements to
Daily
understand.
basis, yeah.
Yeah.
Then today we
Nervous
continue with
system. Yeah, we did nervous system, and I have to make you understand that working with emotions and thoughts uh, and body mindfully, okay, that we will do, that is just an introduction sort of a thing, and we will do emotional regulation, mindfulness of thoughts, and then we'll do body scanning. Okay, so I'll explain it to you as a, which is just an introduction. Okay, another thing that we are left with is nature of mindfulness teachers and teaching mindfulness. Okay, चलिए कोई बात नहीं. We are very much.
So one day we can do only like theory. ऐसे कर सकते हैं.
So कल हम सिर्फ theory करेंगे.
सिर्फ
देखो
theory कर लेते हैं. ये practice में अपना personal कर लूंगी. मतलब whatever we do in the starting.
तो वो आपको हम कल नहीं करवाएंगे. हम रेस्पिरेटरी सिस्टम करेंगे, ठीक है. हम अगर हो सकता है तो वर्किंग विद इमोशंस थॉट्स एंड बॉडी माइंडफुली, वो मुझे आपको थोड़ा सा समझाना है वो, पर उससे पहले वी विल टेक द नेचर ऑफ माइंडफुलनेस टीचर एंड टीचिंग माइंडफुलनेस, ठीक है. इतना हम करना चाहते हैं आपके साथ. So 4 topics are remaining so that we are able to cover, which is respiratory system में इतना it is not that much, सब हो जाएगा. So we just have to cope up for 2 days, ठीक है, क्योंकि हमने 2 दिन क्लास मिस किया है, right, Tuesday and Thursday, right.
So for theory, can we do like it in 2 parts tomorrow, like morning and evening, ऐसे करके cover कर लें? If possible for you.
Yeah, कोई बात नहीं.
theory ही कर लेते हैं, सारी theory कल complete कर लेते हैं morning and evening में. Break भी हो जाएगा बीच में.
Done. And tomorrow you just start understanding this from tomorrow, that when you have your Sunday, when you're free, ठीक है, start writing your theory part, because as soon as this month is going to get over, your session is going to get over, like you need to do 5 hours, at least 5 hours of practicums. तुम लोग ढूंढना शुरू कर दो क्योंकि किसको आप थेरेपी देंगे, एंड इट हैज टू बी रिकॉर्डेड, लाइक प्रॉपर्ली रिकॉर्डेड. आप Zoom पे कर सकते हो, ऐसे रिकॉर्ड करो उसको और अपनी YouTube चैनल पे या तो YouTube पे चैनल बना के पर्सनली अपलोड करो और उसको पर्सनली सेंड करो अद्वैत के ऑफिशियल जीमेल आईडी पे, ठीक है. ये आप करोगे ये एक क्राइटेरिया है। दूसरा क्राइटेरिया है दैट यू हैव टू कंप्लीट योर जर्नल। फिर उसके बाद हम 10 MBI करेंगे। वो 10 MBI के आपको स्क्रिप्ट्स लिखने होंगे। तो सारा अटेंशन आपका वहां पे होना चाहिए, बिकॉज वो दैट इज इम्पोर्टेंट। आप अगर कोई क्लाइंट लेंगे तो आप उसको ये थ्योरी पार्ट समझाने नहीं बैठेंगे,
राइट
आप उसको डायरेक्ट MBI दोगे, राइट? तो फॉर यू टू like practice, start practicing immediately, ठीक है? Also in the video that you're going to record the practicum, you need the MBI, right? You do not need the theory part. तो theory part अभी सब कुछ कंपाइल करके लिखना शुरू करो, उसका जर्नल बना दो, क्योंकि फिर सारा फोकस आपका मुझे चाहिए MBI पे, उसकी स्क्रिप्ट्स पे, ठीक है?
So
फिर
like
एक बार
tomorrow we will be done with this theory part.
yes,
Monday से we are doing only practical things.
yes, only practical things.
I think only 2 weeks are remaining, है ना?
You are going to, आपका अगर ये दो चीजें होती, ठीक है, ये दो हम लेक्चर्स लेते बीच में, अगर हम नहीं मतलब रूटीन में, तो यू वर डन विथ योर ट्रेनिंग ऑन 8th of July,
Okay.
ठीक है? बट ये दो नहीं हुआ है, तो अगर हम कल कंपेंसेट कर रहे हैं उसके लिए, तो देन अगेन यू विल बी डन ऑन 8th of July,
ठीक है.
ठीक है? वरना फिर सेशन ऐसे आगे बढ़ेगा। और एक दिन आई थिंक पर उसका हमने कंपेंसेट किया था, एक दिन
हाँ,
सैटरडे को
ये दो.
क्लास लिया था ना,
हाँ हाँ.
ठीक है? तो अभी तक आपका 3 बार छुट्टी हुआ,
हम्म.
राइट? इस वीक में ट्यूसडे थर्सडे, और लास्ट वीक में किसी एक दिन जिसका हमने सैटरडे को कंपेंसेट किया था।
राइट
आई
राइट.
थिंक फ्राइडे हुआ था, पर हमने सैटरडे को
हम्म.
कंपेंसेट किया था, करेक्ट? ठीक है, चलिए कोई बात नहीं, कल कंप्लीट करते हैं, उसके बाद हम सिर्फ आपको MBI करवाएंगे और MBI में मजा आएगा, ठीक है? सो फ्रॉम 27th, राइट? तो हम कल कंपेंसेट कर देते, तो मेरे स्केड्यूल के हिसाब से जो मैंने आपके लिए बनाया था, हम 27 से MBIs ही करने वाले थे, ठीक है? सो वी विल बी बैक ऑन द ट्रैक। फिर ये एक्स्ट्रा लेने की जरूरत नहीं है, ठीक है? चलिए तो तब तक आई वांट यू टू,
ये like how many objects do I need to have like for this practicum thing? Five, I think. Okay, and I can also do online.
Yeah.
Online recording करके. Okay.
ऑनलाइन रिकॉर्ड करके आप उसको भेज सकते हो, ठीक है? वो फिर हम बताएंगे आपको प्रोसीजर जो भी है।
Practicums भी 8th of July तक complete हो जाएंगे, जो 5 मुझे करने हैं.
वो आपको करना है, वो आपके ऊपर है। आप जितना जल्दी हमको ये 3 क्राइटेरियाज कंप्लीट करके देंगे, ठीक है? 3 क्राइटेरियाज में एक क्राइटेरिया तो हमारी ओर से है, ठीक है? 2 आपको खुद को करने हैं, ठीक है? प्रैक्टिकम और जर्नलिंग, ठीक है?
जर्नलिंग भी सेंड करना है मुझे.
यस, जर्नल आपको मुझे सेंड करना होगा बाय मेकिंग द PDF, इफ दैट इज नॉट व्हाट यू वांट टू डू, ठीक है? आप अपना जर्नल लिखो, देन आई कैन आस्क यू एनी टॉपिक एंड यू हैव टू रीड मी द स्क्रिप्ट ऑफ इट, कि आपने उसमें क्या क्या इंक्लूड किया है, क्या लिखा है, ठीक है? सो दैट वे आई एम गोइंग टू आस्क यू, ठीक है? दैट कैन बी एनीथिंग, ठीक है? तो वो हम देखेंगे
बेस्ड ऑन द वीडियोस व्हिच यू सेंड मी डेली, है ना? वही अभी इसमें
the videos that I show you, the videos that we record, ये जो हम करवाते हैं, तो जितना मैंने आपको करवाया है उतना आपको लिखना है, दैट इज कंपल्सरी। पर आपने कहीं से पढ़ा, ठीक है? आपने गूगल पे सर्च किया कि भाई मुझे इस टॉपिक के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए, आपको ऑथेंटिक लगी, आपने ऐड किया, तो वी आर मोर देन हैप्पी, ठीक है? तो इस तरह से आपको पूरा जर्नल बनाना है। ऑल्सो अंडरस्टैंड दिस वन थिंग, that on our Advait's official website, you have the list in which it goes. Okay? Like it is TTP1, TTP2, है ना?
right.
So उसी हिसाब से लिखना पूरा जर्नल। Don't mess up कि पहले ये टॉपिक फिर ये टॉपिक, नहीं।
I got it.
उसी तरह से लिखना तो बहुत ज्यादा इजी रहेगा आपके लिए, वरना आप ही ढूंढते रह जाओगे अगर कोई ट्रेनी आ गया तो कि क्या है। करेक्ट।
अभी तक लाइक बुक्स का तो मैं इतना नहीं कर पाई हूँ, मतलब इतना मैं आई डेली ओपन माय लैपटॉप एंड आई डेली सिट विद अ बुक, बट द थिंग इज कि वो मैं मतलब माय रूटीन इज सच दैट आई कैन नॉट इवन कंप्लीट 2 pages. I'll be fair on this. So abhi I should basically focus on what we are doing currently on the
राइट।
videos. I should review the videos and like complete my journal like that, है ना?
यस
And
यस
that I can like read gradually, मतलब जो जैसे भी मेरे को time मिलता है.
यस।
So exam would not depend on those books. It would
नो।
depend on the our interaction, whatever we do daily, right?
यस। राइट। सो it will depend on that, and also yeah, so once you will be done with your practicum, once you will be done with your journal, ठीक है, उसके बाद you will decide a day and I'll take your test, written test. So थोड़ा लिखना पड़ेगा, ठीक है. So write it like prepare yourself that way, and scripts में I'll help you, ठीक है. और scripts, I'll actually have my scripts which I'm going to make you practice on, ठीक है. But that scripts I will not be giving you. You have to make your own because that is personalized, ठीक है. So that you can read scripts online, you know, take ideas from here and there and then create your own. Okay, so वो एक चीज बहुत अच्छी तरीके से समझ लेना for each and every MBI, ठीक है. तो स्क्रिप्ट्स में आप मेरे को पढ़वा देना या आप मेरे को व्हाट्सएप कर सकते हैं, ठीक है, as soon as you are done with one script, ठीक है, and then I'll review it.
10 scripts I need to prepare.
वो कैसे करना है, क्या करना है, that all the things I'll explain you, ठीक है. उसका सीक्वेंसिंग कैसा होना चाहिए, ठीक है, उसके वर्ड्स कैसे होने चाहिए, everything I'll make you understand when you practice it, ठीक है. You can also hear my script when I'll send you the, of course, the like recorded link. You can of course listen to what my script is, ठीक है. उसके ऊपर से आप आइडिया ले सकते हो, उसको बीजेस लेके आप बना सकते हो अपना, इट्स ऑल फाइन, बट पूरे का पूरा मत चीपना, ठीक है. Then another important thing is I'll also tell you the diction, how you have to say, ठीक है. उसको भी हम प्रैक्टिस करेंगे. ये सारी चीजें हैं that we have to complete, ठीक है. उसके बाद आपका एग्जाम होगा and then you will be receiving your certificate. And as you are in Delhi, we would so there is a, you know, the felicitation program. दोनों जितने भी हमारे बच्चे अद्वैत के, सर गुरुजी का ऐसा ही मानना रहता है कि अगर आप आ सकते हो पर्सनली और अपना ही कलेक्ट कर सकते हो तो it is much better rather than we just couriering you this. So that's another like a ceremony that we have like at Advait.
I would love to attend that.
Yes. Okay.
Also like the CBT and all, ये भी चीजें होती है ना इसमें,
हाँ.
the some part of it, but not in this part, in the
and
second one,
yes,
the second version.
MBCT and MBSR are in the second level. So as soon as you are done with first, we will be looking forward, you know, to you to join the second and the third one, because of course we have developed the program or the course at Advait, like sir has developed it in such a way where you can practice, you know, mindfulness right from the first level, which is very rare to see, right? But we will always want you to, you know, become very proper authentic, कि आपको कहीं पे भी ऐसा ना हो, आप कहीं पे भी जाएं तो कि oh you are just the beginners level, you are just so we do not want it. We want you to understand everything about a concept you have taken in your head, right? So mindfulness अगर आपको है ऐसा कि we want to become a mindfulness practitioner, complete all the 3 levels, right? You can do it at your pace, but the more faster and earlier that you do, the gap is narrower, not so wide between 2 levels, the more you will able to process it, right? So that is the reason. Okay. Sure. Let us remember the Almighty. Let us pray for the well-being of this world, of our loved ones. Let us enhance our compassion towards others. Let's be empathetic. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah.
Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah.
Sarve Santu Niramaya.
Sarve Santu Niramaya.
Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu.
Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu.
Ma Kaschat Dukh Bhag Bhavet.
Ma Kaschat Dukh Bhag Bhavet.
103 Shantis. Om.
Om
Shanti.
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 Go down to the Almighty, to all your gurus, and be grateful for this another day in life. Thank you. Namaskar.
Namaskar.